What's up, everybody? It's Jeepers, and I decided that before we head into Japan for my team career mode on F125, I'd go through and show you a new tool that I just discovered that is great for doing your car setups. So basically, what I realized is that I'd been going to the leaderboards and looking for car setups on the leaderboards, and that's great. But first of all, they're set only for time trial mode. They're not really set for racing in my team career or even in wet conditions. Let's go and get past the opening screens here. And so what I figured I'd do is I'd take a little time today and take you through the process of utilizing ChatGPT to make real setups based on your driving styles, which is something that I think is pretty darn cool. So let's go ahead and get on over, and I'll show you kind of some of the things that we were able to do. So first of all, let's go and let the game load, and we're going to head over to F1 World and head over to the time trial mode. And when we go in and I start doing it in game, I'm going to go use my F1 World car, and what we'll do is I'll show you kind of what I did with China and show you kind of what results I had and how it went. But then what I'll do is I'll start a new session of ChatGPT and taking you through going and doing it for the Japanese Grand Prix at Suzuka, and just kind of show you the way that I went about doing this. So without further ado, let's head over to the internet, and we will go ahead and look at some of what ChatGPT already did for me over at China. So first of all, as you can see, when I go over here to this screen, that look at it like this. Okay, so we could see that this is the third revision of a time trial mode that ChatGPT gave me. And what I'll do is I'll walk you through the basics in ChatGPT of how I got it to go here and how I made the adjustments. But what's really cool and what I wanted to show you is as you're setting up as you're defining your setups, ChatGPT will tell you like, hey, listen, based on what you told me, which is you needed more rotation in the tight corners of 2 and 3, and you needed more speed on the first and second straights, well, let's go ahead and increase your front wing from 39 to 40, and let's move your rear wing down from 35 to 34. And it'll do that with all the different calibrations that you can make in your setup guide. And then what it'll do is it'll also give you cool information like, hey, here's what you should feel. In this case, it was telling me that I feel sharper and quicker front end turn in. I'd have less resistance on steering input for faster response, and I'd be much freer down the straights with better top speed into heavy braking zones. Plus, the rear end should be stable enough for me because I told it that I tend to be heavy on the throttle. So not only that, it was able to adapt my time trial setup for a race setup, and it even gives you pointers on what you can expect from that race setup. And it also gave me a wet setup for helping me maximize grip and braking stability with more lock on off throttle to help with stability under low grip. So all these things were available right in ChatGPT, and what it did is in the past what I'd do is I'd just go directly in, I'd go over to time trial mode, I'd find the leaders, I'd just grab one of their setups, figuring it was better than the game base one, and I really had no idea how to personalize it to my particular driving style. But now, as I'm using ChatGPT, this amazing tool is quickly giving me reference points to be able to go in and understand why I'm making these changes too, which is really nice to be able to have a better understanding of how these car setups work. Now, one thing to note is ChatGPT doesn't always get it right. So sometimes you have to go in there and give it some pointers, but instead of taking you through what I've already done, I figured we'd start from scratch together, and I'd go through and I'd show you how to set up GPT to go and do this for you. So first, let's head back over into game for a second, and let's go ahead and go into the Japanese Grand Prix time trial. And let's go and look at these car setups, right? And let's see what the difference would be between ChatGPT and the in-game settings for, let's say, people on the leaderboard. So, hey, what's up, Leopard Fruit? Good to see you again, bud. All right, let's load up this time trial. In the meantime, I'll play some music in the background too. Okay, so the first thing you do is when you get into time trial mode, you head over into the display. You head up into this display, and you can see right now there's a balance setup already on the car that that F125 that EA is saying, hey, this is probably a pretty good setup. And what we're going to do is we're going to go through aerodynamics, transmission, suspension geometry, suspension, brakes, and tires. And we can see that the front wing arrow they say set to right in the middle, right close to the middle at 23, and the rear arrow, they want the rear arrow set at 23 as well too. We could see that the differential lock is going to be different, and these are set up specific to the kinds of tracks that we have in front of us, in this case Suzuka in Japan, and even tire pressures. So that's the balance setup. That's a pre-setup from EA. What I always do is I don't tend to use that. What I usually do is I go over here and I come on, let's see, how do we get out of this? Nope. Let's see, how do I save car setup? Exit is 10. I want to get to the leaderboard. Hold on. Let's just say select. Okay. Oh, how do I get back? Oh, let's see. All right. Let's go ahead and end the session and get back in here because it's not letting me get back to our main screen. All right, let's do this again. Hope you had a good time at your dad's. No worries, glad you're back. Our kids are all out of school here. They just got out this week, so it's the start of summer break. Okay, so here we go. Back to time trial. I'm going to go select the F1 World Car. Head back to Japan. Okay, here we go. We'll load this back up and I'll show you where we start here. Oh, sorry to hear that. Not that there's anything wrong with school, but I know you'd probably rather not go. Instead, stay home and play video games, or watch guys like me play video games, right? Okay, so here's what I usually do. I go into this. This is the leaderboard, and the first thing I do is I can go down and say I want to only show ones that are from Steam. So I'll usually press 9 and then just load up just the ones from Steam, because I don't think that the controller and the the PS and the Xbox are really going to translate well to somebody who drives the wheel. So I go to Steam knowing that these people are mostly going to use wheels, and I can go and check this assists over at the far left and see that all these ones on the top, they don't use any assists, and again they're using Steam, which means that they're probably using a steering wheel. So what I usually do is look for ones that are using F1 World Cars, since that's what I use. And so sometimes I'll look for names of people I recognize. As you can see, I'm way down at 7,529. But in the top 10, there's Kevin here who uses the F1 World Car. So I grab that setup, and I'd say load setup. And I'd say, do I want to load it? Like, yes. Okay, great. So now I got his setup. Now I come over here and I can see that I have a custom setup as opposed to the balance setup. And so from here, I want to go ahead and modify this setup and go in and see that his front arrow is a little bit different than it was for the out of the box one. So for example, he has his front wing cranked up to 33 and his rear wing is set to 24. So this would kind of just be this would be the setup that I'd use. And by the way, I noticed that there are real extremes on the time trial setup. So for example, this differential, the on throttles at 100, whereas the off throttles at 10. This seems to be a common occurrence for those leaderboards. So I don't know if they've just found loopholes in the game or if they just operate at a level that makes it so they don't want these locks at all or whatever. As you can see there, the suspension geometry, everything is turned all the way down to the minimum. The suspension is set up a little bit different. It looks like they pay a little bit more attention to this. Brake bias is usually set somewhere in between the very top to about 51%, but brake pressure is almost always 100%. And then the tires, sometimes they'll manage the tires, sometimes they won't at all. They'll either turn them all the way up or all the way down. These ones, it looks like they did actually make a choice to go with 21 pounds on the rear tires, whereas the front's just all the way loaded. So that's what I was using. I was just using the leaderboard setups from here, and that's what I was going and using. So, hey, thanks Leopard Fruit, and you're always welcome to watch. I appreciate you coming back and checking in. So right now we're just going to go and look at ChatGPT and see if we can find, ChatGPT, and see if we can find a better setup that's geared to more my driving style. So let's go ahead and go back into my settings. And now let's head over to ChatGPT and see what we can do to get it so that we can do something more personalized for the way that I like to drive. So the first thing I'm going to do is say, okay, let's go. And ready when you are. So I'm going to say, I want to create a personalized setup for F125 doing time trials. I think it's trails. Let's do trials. Alright, so doing time trials at Japan. Press enter and let's see what ChatGPT gives us. Okay, great. Setting up your F1 car for time trials at Suzuka involves fine-tuning your setup for optimal grip, stability through the S's, and strong traction for the high-speed corners and the tricky final chicane. Since time trials don't require tire or fuel management, you can push the car to its performance limits. To personalize it, it needs a few details. So the first thing it's going to ask me is, what platform do I use? Sorry, there's a little bit of lag because I have the game running. It doesn't like running Chrome and the game at the same time. So let's see if it comes up. Okay, here we go. So it's going to ask me, what platform do I use? Do I use any assists? What's my preferred handling style? Do I like oversteer or understeer? And do I use a controller or a wheel? And then skill level or typical TT lap times at Suzuka. Now I'm going to say I don't know those. And then the weather conditions, I'm going to say we want to do dry. So let's go ahead and start giving ChatGPT some of our data. So let's say I use PC with no assists and manual transmission. I guess I should say gears. I'll stay consistent, even though I know ChatGPT PT wouldn't have a problem with saying transmission. I'll just say manual gears. Okay. And I definitely prefer I prefer a light understeer. And I use a controller. Oh, excuse me, I use a wheel. And I consider my skill level as expert. Let's create a setup for dry weather first. So just by talking to ChatGPT, it'll take that information and give me something that's personalized for myself. So let's see what it comes back with. Okay, so here's what I got back. Perfect, thanks. Based on your preferences, expert driver, wheel user, no assist, and a preference for light understeer, here's a personalized, dry, time trial setup for Suzuka that balances precision through the S's with strong exits and top end speed. So we could see that it's giving me this setup, and it's saying that it's doing it for expert wheel with light understeer, and it's even giving me some details about why it's giving me these factors. Now, as a little added bonus, I'll also show you something else that I do that makes this easier to manage. I use Google Documents, and what I do is I'll create two different Google Docs. The first one is just a summary document that I can go and store this information in and just copy and paste it directly from ChatGPT so I can find it easily in the future. And so, for example, we showed you the China one earlier, and I mentioned that the version of this particular setup is the 13th version of changes I made when I set this up originally. Now, when I go to Japan, we can see that I already had a setup, even though we're starting from scratch here. I don't mind losing this and we're just restarting from scratch because I believe in the methods it uses to get us here. But you could see this is the version 2 of the Suzuka time trial setup that was made based on the changes that it had made in that 13th version of the China Grand Prix. So it uses the information that you give it from one course or from one circuit, and it'll apply it to the other ones that you need in the future or the different kinds of setups that you want to use. So, okay, here we are. We're in Japan. We have ChatGPT that gave us this setup. And what I'm going to want to do is now I'm going to want to copy this. So the first thing I'm going to do is come down here and see it even gives us some tips for Suzuka too. So keep momentum in the S's, use lift and coast rather than heavy braking. From Degner curves, be assertive but smooth. With the spoon curve, focus on exit speed, and with 130R, flat out with this setup. All right, that's good information, right? So it even asked me what I want to do next, but for now, all I'm going to do is I'm going to click this little icon right here to copy this. It gives me a checkbox to let I know it's complete. And now I'm going to go back over to my setups Google Doc, and I could just replace all of this, but I'm going to want to go back and later and see what the difference is between what the original was and this new setup going to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come down here below the previous setup it gave me, and I'm just going to do a Control V to paste that new information that I got from ChatGPT directly into this document. So now I have all that information from ChatGPT right here in a document that could save and put along with all the other tracks that I have going forward. So now all of a sudden, instead of using other people's work and hoping that I drive with the same style as them, I'm starting to build my own database of setups that are customized specifically for my driving style. So here we go. What did it tell us? Here it is. Based on your preferences, here's the first setup version that it's provided. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the tool and I'm going to now set up based on this feedback. So let's head back over into the tool, or into the, into the game. Go back over to gameplay mode. And we could see for front wing, ChatGPT said for my time trial setup, my personalized one, based on the limited information it gave me, that I want to have my front arrow wing set higher than the time trial guy had it. So I'm going to set this up to 35. My rear wing said I wanted it really high too, all the way up to 38. That leads me to believe I'm probably going to have to adjust that down a little bit, but let's go in and look. The next thing is the transmission. Told me I wanted my on throttle to be all the way down at 50%. Big difference from the leaderboard. And for off throttle, it said I should have it up at 55%. For my suspension geometry, I go scroll to where that is. Okay. There we go. Okay, so it says front camber at 2.5, and this has it at negative 3.5. So negative 2.5 is on the other end of the spectrum. Okay, worries me a little bit. Same with rear camber. Wants the rear camber set at negative 1. Front toe wants to slightly increase to 4.04, and for the rear toe, it wants this set to 0.18. Okay. And for our suspension geometry, it wants the front suspension turned down a click to 40, rear suspension turned up a little bit to 17, anti-roll bar set at 10, anti-roll bar rear turned way down to 4, front ride height set up at 34, and the rear ride height, it says it wants it set at 36. So now what I need to do is go in and tell ChatGPT that the rear suspension only goes between 40 and 60. So let's go and correct ChatGPT, let it know it gave us some information that doesn't really work. Okay, so let's go ahead and say the rear ride height only goes from 40 to, go look at the game real quick, 40 to 60. All right, and ask it how it thinks I should adjust. Okay, so it says, thanks for catching that. F125 has updated the ride height range compared to previous games. Since the rear ride height now starts at 40, we need to adjust the whole ride height setup to fit the new parameters, while preserving the balance you're aiming for, which is light understeer and stable but responsive. So I need to adjust the ride height. It says to use the front ride height stays at 34, rear height was 36. So now it's saying to update it to front ride height of 41, which it doesn't go to because it's a minimum of 15 and maximum of 35, and a rear ride height of 44. So I could go 44 here. But now I need to go back and tell ChatGPT it's got it wrong, that the front can only go from 15 to 35. So let's head back over to ChatGPT. Let's see what it could say. This does not work because front ride height only allows 15 to 35. Okay. So again, you're absolutely right again, and thanks for pointing that out. Here's the correct F1 ride height range based on the in-game values. So our goal is to keep a usable rake while staying within those constraints and match your preference for very light understeer and rear end stability with a wheel and no assist. So, gave us a correction. We're going to go to 31 for the front and 45 for the rear. So let's go back in game and make sure that we can do that. Alright, so 31 to 45. Now I have to go back up and see what it recommends. And this is kind of cool because now it's saying, hey, would you like me to post the full updated setup again with these legal values for easy reference? So let me just tell it, yeah, go ahead and do that. Okay. So here goes the whole setup again. Okay, so there's the ride heights. And let's go set the brake adjustments and the tires and finalize this first run through the time trials. So let's go ahead and head over to brakes, and it says to use brake pressure of 100 and front brake bias of 55. And tires. Okay, so here's another problem. See, it says the front and the front left right pressure and front and rear right left pressure. There's a couple things that I don't like that it's doing right now. Let's take you back over to ChatGPT and I'll show you. So the first thing, notice that on brakes, it shows the front brake bias above the brake pressure. I'm going to tell ChatGPT to change that order so it won't get confusing and I won't look at those values incorrectly in the future. And then for the tires, it lists 4 different settings, and ChatGPT is including the front and left pressures for the right and for the rear and the front and the left and the right in 2 measurements. So I'm going to ask that to break it out and be a little bit more precise and see what kind of feedback I get. So let's head back over to ChatGPT and say, can you adjust the brake settings? The F1 25 game lists brake bias above pressure. Also, F1 25 okay, also F125 allows configuring each tire pressure separately. Should we take advantage of this flexibility? Let's see what it has to say. Okay. Look at that. Tells me what a good job I did. It says, excellent observations. Yes, Let's fully align this with F125's updated UI and customization options. So updated for F125 is the brakes. Now let's brake bias first in the menu and brake pressure next. Tire pressure, now fully independent. Yes, we should absolutely use the flexibility. In Suzuka, corners are asymmetrical and load. Left side takes more load because of Danger's spoon and 130R. Right side can use slightly higher pressure for rotation and response. Here's how to take advantage. Okay, so it says let's change the tire pressures. And then it has a recap. Let's go look at this recap. Okay. I like the changes so far. Let's head back in game and set it up. So we could see that the brake bias is now set up 55 and 100. Good. We could see the tire pressures. Let's set the front. All right. So again, it's setting up the front left first and the front right second. And so in the game, it actually does right and left and then right and left. So I'm going to ask it to change that too. But in the meantime, let's just set it up. So the front right, it wants at 22. So it wants it all the way turned down. Wow, that's a big difference. And then the front right. Oh, sorry. That should have been the front left. It's down at 22. Oh, okay. So yeah. So then we go down to 22. But here's the problem. It doesn't even let us go all the way down to 22. So let's head back over to ChatGPT. It needs to correct some things. Now, obviously, this is getting a little concerning because it seems to be pretty off with some of these and giving a lot different advice based on knowing what the new setup is. But let's give it a try and see how it works. So I'm going to say the tires are listed in the following order in F125. Can you utilize the same order? Alright, so also the available PSI ranges are 29.5 PSI for front tires and 20.5 to 26.5 for rear tires. Okay, let's see what it gives us now. Okay, perfect. Now we're fully aligned with this game layer and tire print. Let's clean up and finalize here using legal pressure ranges, precise values for expert and OSS wheel use. Okay. So let's get down to the end. Doesn't look like they made any changes in anything except for the tire pressures. So gives us a little explanation. Says the right side handles most high-speed corners. Left side slightly lower pressure to maintain traction control over exits. Overall, low end of pressure range to prioritize grip or reduce temps during flat-out time trial laps. Okay. So let's get back in game and set up these tire pressures. So right front is 22.8. Front left is 22.6. Rear right is 21.0. And rear left is 20.8. Okay, that's what it tells us we should go with. So let's go ahead and save this. And I'm going to call this stream, if I could spell. Alright, so this is going to be the stream ChatGPT setup. Later on, I'm going to go back and compare it with the one that it gave me for the other car. I mean, for the other setup I did, and see how the difference is. So based on that, let's go ahead and give this a try and see how it performs. So the first thing I want to do is reset this. Here we go. And I think I'm also going to turn on my telemetry tool that I don't have running right now, but I'm going to turn it on so that way I can check the telemetry, and then I could also use both camera modes too. So let me go turn that on real quick. Alright, telemetry tool. Okay. Telemetry tools loaded. Let's go ahead and put on our gloves, and then let's go do a couple laps, see how it feels. Now the good news is I have some setups that I've already run, so it knows what my best lap times are. So I'll be able to tell fairly quickly if this is a good setup or a bad setup, and then what we'll do is we'll go through the process of improving it. I'll show you how that works. So we're going to go ahead and use this. Oops. Okay. Let's go to track and see how it feels. Here we go. All right. Guy's pretty far ahead of me right now. Yeah, looks like I need to make a few adjustments. Actually, not too bad. Feels good, feels sticky. It's definitely slower than my previous lap times, although it was my first try. It's warming up a little bit. Ah, that was a little bit too much. Yeah, that was pretty slow compared to what I'm used to doing. All right. All right, let's try it again. That chicane always gets me. So I got a little bit too much understeer, I think. Yeah, I got too much understeer. Alright, so let's go tell ChatGPT that this is too much understeer. Okay. 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 Okay, so see, it'll go and it'll tell me what it's trying to do. So it's going to dial down the understeer while keeping the car stable and suited to your wheel. No assist setup. Since you prefer a very light understeer, but current version is too conservative, we'll tune toward neutral balance with just a touch more front end grip and rotation. So the adjusted setup is less understeer, more rotation, more front wing for bite, lower off throttle diff for better rotation, softer front suspension and ARB, which is the anti-roll bar, for compliance, and slightly more aggressive rear tire pressure. Okay, so now when it gives us the stats, you can see that it's saying that it is turning up our front wing, and it's showing us all the different things that it's going to actually adjust. So it's going to turn the front wing up to 37. Let's head back in game and make these changes. So head back to the garage. And configure this. So we're going to go from 35 to 37. Rear ring will stay at 38. Throttle will be 50 and lowered this to 50. Geometry for the suspension. The front and rear remain the same. Front end toe moves up to 6. Rear toe remains at 18. Okay. The suspension, we're going to take the front suspension down to 36. Leave the rear. The front ARB, anti-roll bar, will go down to 9. Rear will stay at 4. I'll leave this at 31 and 45. Brakes, we're going to decrease the brake bias to 54. And we're going to leave the brake pressure at 100. And then let's see what it says for the tires. It's going to go 22.6, 22.6, 21.2, and 21 even. Okay. So, that being the case, let's go ahead and go give this a try. Actually, let's go ahead and save it first. Save car setup. Okay, let's go give this a try, see how it feels. Here's our old, alright, here we go. So what I'm learning is that I really don't like understeer. I think I actually like neutral to even a little bit of a snappier car. I'm already closer to that ghost guy. No, that's probably my fault right there. That was my fault. Oh, stay off that curb. That's dangerous. Sloppy. Alright, sloppy so far. I think I want even more, less understeer. This will be the determining factor right here. That's actually pretty good. Now see I'm way outside there. Okay, so I need to reduce understeer a little bit more. Let's go do that. Okay, let's see what that does. Perfect. Let's take it one step further into neutral to mild oversteer, but still keep it controllable for expert wheel users without assists. We'll target sharper initial rotation, more agility mid-corner, still stable on exits so you're not wrestling car and spoon or on the chicane. All right. So first thing it's going to do is it's going to increase the front wing for more front end bite. And it's going to reduce the rear wing for a little less drag and downforce to balance the front increase. This gives a slight front bias aero balance for better rotation without risking tail snaps. Okay. Transmission, we're going to move the differential to 48 off throttle for more off throttle rotation. Suspension, we're going to move toe into 0.08 for faster initial response, and we're going to move the rear toe down to 16 to help rotate mid-corner. And so what's really great is it gives you all these reasons of why it's doing this stuff, which is really helpful for if you're paying attention to learn what this is going to do. So let's go ahead and go back up. We'll head over into game and I'll start making these changes. Okay. Head back to the garage. Okay, so aero front wing goes from 35 to 38, rear wing goes 38 to 37. Okay, so again, it told us the throttle differential go down to 48, but it can't because it doesn't allow it. So I have to remind it. I have to remind it that the differential only moves in increments of 5. Okay. All right. Looks like their arrow is 38 and 37. All right, let's go back in game and make these adjustments. Okay. So 38 and 37, 50 and 45. Suspension is negative 2.5, negative 1.08. So I need to adjust the front toe in up to 8, and the rear toe should be 1.6. So move that down. All right, for suspension, we're going to move the front suspension down to 34, rear suspension down to 16, front anti-lock roll bars to 8, rear, it's going to remain at 4, front ride height is going to go down a little bit, rear ride height will stay the same, we're going to move the brakes down to 53%, and front brake pressure is going to remain at 100, and then the tires are going to go 22.6, 22.6, 21.4, and 21.2. Okay. So that is what we have right now. Let's go ahead and head back in game and see how that feels on track. I like the car because it feels planted, and this turn-in's much better. I like that the back end doesn't step out. A little bit wide there. Okay. Time's not that far off. A little too aggressive there, okay. Give it a few laps so I can really get a feel for it. So I want a little bit more, okay. So one of the things I need to do, so let's go back over to here. So I need to go find out what the turn numbers are for Suzuka. So let's go look for F1 Suzuka layout. Okay. Okay. So here's the first, this is the S's. This is where I'm getting slowed down. I'm getting slowed down in 8, 9. So it's really the second sector. So I need to get better at doing fine through all the way through 7. Slowing down a little bit in 8 and 9. Yeah, so I need to get better through 8 and 9. Okay, and I want better top end speed. Okay, so let's go tell ChatGPT, excuse me, this information. I need more speed through 8, 9. Okay, so I told I need more speed through 8, 9, and on the main straight. Perfect. Turns 8 and 9, Degner, are fast, high commitment corners that demand a planted front but also low drag to carry speed. Asking for more straight line pace. So let's trim drag without losing too much front grip. Here's the focused update to give you. More entry speed and stability through Degners. Better top end for the main straight and 130R while still keeping neutral handling and usable grip. Okay, let's go and do this. So this is our version 4 of a speed-focused Suzuka setup. Again, it's telling me why it's making the changes, which is cool. I love it. So with that being said, let's go ahead and head back in game and make these changes. Alright, so we're taking the front wing from 38 to 36, rear wing down to 34. Transmission is going to be 50-45, that's going to stay the same. Let's see, the suspension geometry is 2.5 and -1. Front toe is 0.08 and 0.16, which is good there. Suspension is going to be 34, 16. I'm going to move this up to 9. The rear I'm going to move up to 5. Ride height will remain 30 in the front, and we will lower it just a tad in the back. And for brake bias, we'll leave it at 53 and 100. And for tire pressure, we went with 22.7, 21.5, and 21.3. Okay, so there's our new setup. Let's go give this a test. See how it looks, see how it feels. Hey Sophia, I'm really not interested. I kind of do all my own stuff, but I appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, so let's go ahead and test the setup and see how it feels. Let's head back into POV mode, turn on the shaker amp, and let's go. Alright, see now what I'm really looking for is that I don't lose time here. See how it's already losing time? See how the delta's already going down? I don't like that. Alright, so I still need a little bit more understeer, but let me give it another try just to make sure. Okay, now this is better. There we go. That's the way I want the speed going. Whoa! Lost it there. Let's restart that. Alright, I need more understeer. Okay. So I need a little bit more understeer. A little bit less understeer. Okay. I think I also want to tell that I am pretty smooth in my trail braking. Okay, so excellent. Since you use smooth trail braking, you can get more mid-corner rotation from the car under braking, which means we can safely free up the front end even more without making the car unstable. You're also aiming to reduce understeer slightly further. We'll now focus on adding even more rotation. Oops, go back to the thing. Okay, so what I did is I went back into ChatGPT. Said I need a bit less understeer and I utilize smooth trail braking. So based on that feedback, it said excellent. Since you use smooth trail braking, you can get more mid-corner rotation from the car under braking, which means we can safely free up the front end even more without making the car unstable. You're also aiming to reduce understeer slightly further. We'll now focus on adding even more rotation on corner entry and mid-corner, keeping good grip on throttle exit, maintaining the low drag speed gains you just got through the dingers and straight revisions we did. So we're on to setup number 5. So let's go ahead and see what we're doing. We're increasing the front wing a little bit, reducing the off throttle diff, and then we're making some suspension changes. So let's head back in game and get these going. Alright, so 37, 34, 50 to 40, negative 2.5, negative 1. We're going to increase front toe to 10, going to decrease rear toe to 14. Okay, front suspension is going to be down to 32. Rear suspension down to 15. Front anti-roll bar down to 8. Rear down to 4. Ride height at 30 and 44 still. We are going to adjust the brake pressure. We're going to go down to 52. Keep the pressure at 100, and then the tires are going to be 22.8, 22.8. 21.6 and 21.4. Okay, so we increased this tire pressure slightly. Okay, let's go see how this feels. Okay. Alright, so let's go ahead and head back over to POV mode, turn on the shaker, and head to track. Alright, now I can kind of start feeling the snap a little bit that I like. I feel like this is the closest to him I've been this whole session, which is nice. He still pulled away from me there. Gotta get better there. And he pulled away from me in the chicane too, so I need better rotation both those places. Even though that wasn't super clean, it wasn't bad. I like my first sector. Okay. Alright, so I see what... Alright, so I see what I need to do. Sophia, nothing to be confused about. I'm not interested in using your services, but I'm glad you stopped by. Thanks for stopping by. Okay. Okay, so let's go look at... First I want to look at... Alright, so 13 and 14 is where I need better rotation through 14. So I need better rotation through 14. And 17. 14 and 17. Okay. Okay. I need better rotation through 14 and 17. And I think I like the snappy feel better. Okay, so I think I accidentally put this in. There we go. All right. So Sorry about that, I was pressing the wrong button. Alright, so let's go ahead and see. I think I like that snappy feel better. Let's see what it has to say. Okay, so here's what ChatGPT has to say. It says, awesome, if you're enjoying a snappier, more responsive car, we can absolutely lean into that while sharpening your rotation through 14 and 17, spoon corner and the chicane. These are both trail brake sensitive front end limited corners to help you snap in confidently and rotate fast. Well, now sharpen, turn in more, front response, loosen rear a bit more on entry, better rotation, preserve your top speed and trail braking effectiveness, and maintain stability on exit. No wild snaps. Alright, cool, I like it. So this is setup version 6, snappy rotation and trail braking through spoon and chicane. Okay. So we're gonna increase aero, front wing. We're gonna lower rear, the off throttle differential, and we're gonna change the toe ends a little bit. So let's go ahead and head into game, and we will make those changes. Okay. Okay, so front wing goes up to 38, transmission stays at 50 and 40. Okay. The suspension geometry stays at the cambers, but the toe in goes up to 12, and the rear toe goes down to 12. Let's go see what the suspension does. Okay, front suspension goes down to 30, rear goes to 14, ARB goes up, rear ARB goes down, ride height stays the same, nope, rear height goes to 43, brakes are going to go down to 51, man they're going almost all the way up, brake pressure is going to stay at 100, let's go check the tires. Okay, 22.9, it's going up, 22.9 is going up, 21.6 stays the same, and 21.4 stays the same. Okay, so that's what it's telling us to do. Let's go ahead and head back in game. And let's go ahead and move over to point of view mode. Turn on the shaker, and let's do this. Alright, that didn't feel great. Yeah, I'm losing speed in the straights. Now let's just try it again. Let's get through a lap. Oh, okay. That was pretty good. Let me just, I gotta hold on more through Dregners. Got the chicane wrong. Alright, get there. Oh, that was almost there. Okay. A little bit more rotation through that last corner. So let's go look at that. Let's see, that is turn 14. I need a bit better rotation through 14. Let's close that. Don't need that. There we go. Okay. Oh, what's the name of that core? Was it 14? Yep. Okay, let's see what it says. We'll focus now on the spoon rotation without adding drag since you want to maintain straight line speed. Turn 14 is all about initial rotation on trail brake, mid-corner grip and rotation, early throttle without washing wide. I already like the snappier feel and low drag, so now we'll fine-tune mechanical and differential settings. 2. Increase rotation at spoon, avoid aero drag increases, and keep stable exits. Alright, sounds good. So let's see what we got here. Okay, look at those key changes. The toe, the ARBs, brake bias, off throttle, and the front rear suspension. So let's go ahead and get those set up. Alright. Head back in game. Turn to garage. Alright. We got 38 and 34. 1540. 12 and 10. Front suspension is going down 28. Front. That's a roll bar. It's going up. 9 to 10. Rear is staying. Ride height is staying. Brake bias is going back to 50. Brake pressure stays. We're going to go up with tire pressure, up with tire pressure, leave tire pressure, and leave tire pressure. Okay. Let's go see if this works. All right. There we go. Whoa. Definitely feels a little bit slippier. Gonna get the shifting all the way down. There, that's the way I like that. That's better. Okay, this feels pretty good. See if I could dial it in a little bit more with the way I'm utilizing it. That was a good lap. Okay, I like that. Oh yeah, Adam, I just got me a best time. I just got me a better time than I've been using. So as far as I can tell, it's doing pretty good. But I'm on many revisions. You have to keep on giving it more information. So I'll show you the setups I was using. I was using the leaderboard ones, and that's what I've been using. And if I go to F1 laps, let's go see what it rates it as for F1 laps. So let's go over here to F1 laps. I think a lot of it's how you utilize tools, right? You have to be able to understand the feedback it's giving you and then be able to make adjustments as well. So if we go into F1 laps, we can see that the difficulty it has me at right now is 86. At China, the setup it was at me, I was at a 99, which is pretty high. That's pretty good. 86, I feel like I could be higher, but I just now got the setup, so I'm thinking that I just have to work on it a little bit more to see if it will actually increase and at least get me up into the 90s. But let's see. What would I want it to change right now? Actually, I think I'm pretty comfortable at what it's doing right now, so let's go back over in game and put in a few more laps and see if it can improve over 86. So let's head back over here and let's just restart this lap. Okay, restart this lap. Okay. Definitely too wide there. Ah, a little too wide. Alright, let's try it again. Ah, thanks. Thank you, sir. I actually was using Fanatec wheels too, but I just got a Rexing Mayeris 2, and man, I love it. Mainly because it gives me all the information I want on the screen display, so I can hide my steering wheel behind the racing setup. Alright, let's see if I could get a good lap in. Okay, gaining speed on the straight, that's good. Got good turn in here. That's good. Trail brake, no trail braking there. Okay, got to get full rotation there, good. Stay on track. Stay on track. Oh, a little bit wide. Oh, that's too bad. Set a purple in sector 1 too. It's pretty good through there. See if he gains on me on the straight. No, I'm sticking with him pretty good. Handles the curbs good. Came out of that corner wrong. I know, the curb is a killer. Sloppy. Sloppy. Right on him though. Nah, it's not good. Stay on. I need a little bit more rotation. I need a little bit more rotation coming out of that corner. Let's go take a look. Let's go see what corner number that is. Oh, what's going on here? There we go. Okay. All right. Let's go back to. Let's go see what corner that is. It is 9. I need a little bit more rotation in 9. Okay. Let's go see what ChatGPT says. Asking for a little bit more rotation in 9, but I don't want to lose any top end speed. Better rotation in 9 without losing top end speed. I need better rotation out of 9 without losing top end speed. Okay, let's see what it says. Okay, turn 9, Degner 2 is tricky because you're off the brakes already by entry. Rotation must come off throttle mid-corner. You need to pick up throttle early for the long straight that follows, and you don't want to lose top end speed. You're asking for better rotation after the apex of Degner 2, so we'll focus on freeing up the rear mid-corner, keeping the car stable on exit, and preserve a current low drag aero. Okay, so we're on to version 8. And let's see what those setups are. Targeting changes is rear toe, rear anti roll bar, rear suspension, on throttle, and off throttle are 50 and 40. I think those are the same. Let's go let's go check it out. Okay. Back in game. Let's make these changes. The other thing I better do is save this before I lose all this work too. I mean, I got it all documented, but I should still just do a save here. Okay, so aero is going to remain at 38 and 34. Transmission is 50 and 40, stays the same. Geometry is 2.5, 1, 12, and 8. Okay, so the rear toe end is going down to 8. Ah, here's again where ChatGPT messes up. Rear toe cannot go down to 8. So I need to go tell it that it did not give me good information. Okay, so let's head back over to ChatGPT and say that the min for rear toe end is 10 degrees. 0.10 degrees, 0.1 degree. Okay. Okay, the minimum rear toe end angle is 0.10. Okay, so we're gonna adjust the rear suspension, rear ARB, rear ride height, and rear tire pressures. Adds rotation without instability by increasing the rear left. Okay. See how that works out. Yeah, I like iRacing. I just don't have time to get on and race without it just being open lobbies, which gets kind of tiresome. So right now I like to concentrate on F125 just because it's more RPG. I can get on and race when I want, I can stop when I want, and it's kind of fun to drive against the real life drivers and pretend you're an F1 driver. So I totally agree. iRacing is a better platform for real racing, and Coach Dave is awesome too. I think I got all my iRacing setups and my setups for Assetto Corsa Competizione. I think I got those through Coach Dave too, and they were all really good. My biggest problem is I just didn't really understand how to adjust setups for me personally. The cool thing about using ChatGPT in this process is I'm learning why it's making these changes to these different aspects, which is kind of cool. So yeah, so let's go check this out and see how this does for us. Alright, so we are back at okay, so let's go back and make sure the front ring is 38, rear ring is 34, yep. Transmission is 50-40, yep. Rear toe is at 10, yep. Okay, so let's do the suspension. The front suspension is going to be 28, rear is going to drop down to 12. Front ARB is going to remain at 10, and the rear anti-roll bar is going to drop it down to 10. So it's going to take some off the anti-roll bar in the rear. That should give us some better traction. Rear ride height is 30. We're going to drop the rear height. The front ride height is 30. We're going to drop the rear to 42. And let me scroll up to see the brakes and the tires. We're going to say 50 and 100. And the tires are going to be 23, 23, 21.8, and 21.6. Alright, and let's go ahead and save the setup too. We're going to do stream ChatGPT. Okay, got that set up. Okay. All right. Turn on a shaker. Let's go. It's been an hour and a half. I better wrap this one up soon. Yeah, it even feels better through here. I had to use a little bit of braking there. Got a little bit ahead of myself. The rotation's better. Oh, and I blew it right there. Right, that's right. We could work this out. We could work this out. That chicane kills me every time. Jeez, come on. Okay, maintaining speed on the straight, good. Get that rotation good. There we go. That's better. Oh, I didn't rotate it enough. That was my fault. Come on. Ah, is it lagging? Let's see if I can fix that lag. I think I have to turn off Chrome. I have a lot of stuff going on, plus it's been a while. So let me go ahead and let me close down Chrome. See if we could pick up some performance here. Maybe I could turn off Toby too. We'll get rid of the eye tracking for now. And that should free up some performance. Thanks for letting me know, Kevin. See if we can fix that issue. I can also turn off the telemetry too. I'm not really using it. And then we'll just go to a different view. We'll go to a cockpit view. See if this gets it working a little bit smoother. Okay. Let's go ahead and restart this lap. All right, here we go. All right, straight line speed is good. Stay. There we go. Good rotation there. That's the rotation I was looking for. Ah! Snapped it coming out of the turn. Darn it. Okay. That's right. We can fix that. Stay. Yeah, there were too many shifts there. Didn't rotate enough. But I don't think it's a setup. Got it. There's a purple sector. I like it. Oh! Oh, it's right there. I went purple on sector 1. I went purple on sector 1. And then I caught the edge. I just gave it too much gas coming out of there. I didn't need to either. Bummer. Okay. Kind of sloppy. Very sloppy. Oh, that was sloppy. How to use the brakes. Too deep. See what I could do though. Held it in. Gonna get that last shift down. I think I lost a little there. Maybe. Maybe not. Yep. Totally got a snap there. That wasn't needed. Come on. We're in the wrong gear. Still didn't shift down into first again. Why is it not making that final shift? I'm trying to downshift too early. All right. Cool, Kevin. Thanks for giving me the info. All right. Let's try to get this in. Yikes. Oh. Okay, see if we can get one good lap. Tap the brakes. Didn't need to tap the brakes. Oh, maybe that extra downshift helps rotate. Okay, I'm getting closer to him. That was a purple third sector. Maybe that extra downshift really did help. Boo. I think I got him. Oh, he's right there. Right in front of me. Right in front of me. Oh, too deep. Oh, man, I blew it. Too aggressive. I think I would have had him too. Ah, bummer. Oh, I did it again. Okay. But I think at the end of the day, I did what I tried to do. I accomplished what I tried to do, as to show you that you can build pretty good setups for yourself with ChatGPT. Like at this point, I don't think that I'd want to change. Let's go ahead and end this so that way it closes the lag on the review a little bit. Hold on, we'll just go over to chat so I can close out of the game. Let's actually I'll show you this too. So it said that our theoretical best was at 138.4. Excuse me, a 134. So with my theoretical best, I would have beat VTG F1. And he's using assists. And I did beat him in 2 seconds, or in 2 sectors. I just didn't get him in that middle sector. And he beat me by 2/10. So, I think at the end of the... No, don't restart the session. I'll just go and close out of the game. Okay. So let's go ahead and load up ChatGPT again. Oh, where is it? Oh, where is ChatGPT? There it is. Okay, let's go to... There we go, Suzuka setups. Okay. So I don't think I'm going to change this one much. I will probably go over and save this and compare it to the ones that I already saved, which are over in Google Docs. More important, let's go over and look at F1 Labs and see what my... So I went from an 83 to an 86. That's closing in. That's like good enough for me to go ahead and start my career mode. Like if I go over 80, that's usually I'll say when I'll be okay with going and doing my career mode. Here we go. Sorry about that. So we can see that right now we're at 86 for 86 for Japan. Can't remember the track. It's you. Kelvin, it's one of those things where you just have to get used to driving without the racing line, and at first it seems impossible, but eventually it comes around and it isn't as hard. But yeah, and I don't claim to be the best by any means. I had a really good run at China that got me up to 99 for time trials on F1 laps, but I think I could do better in Australia too. I think I'm in the 80s, but usually what I'll do, since I run my career mode, is I'll just get up into the 80s for time trials, and then I'll go do my races. But based on that, that's what I'm starting to use for my setups now. I like using ChatGPT. I think that they're good enough, and I'm learning more about it by using them. So I've been pretty happy with that. So that is going to conclude this video, how to use ChatGPT to run your setups and how to have it help you make them better, and the feedback it gives you. So hopefully that's helpful. I know this has been a long one. It's been an hour, and it's been 2 hours now. So I'm going to go ahead and end this stream. I hope it's helpful for you. If not, let me know what your feedback is and what tools are helpful for you. Coach Dave is a great resource. Again, I don't know if he does F1, but I know there's other ones out there that are pretty good. Like I know Trophy AI should be pretty helpful. It actually utilizes AI. But let me know what you think. All right, this is OGeepers. That was a long session. Talk to you next time.